welcome to this edition of Coast Currents. In the studio joining me today is a true Renaissance man, Mr. Robert Goleman. Welcome, Mr. Robert.
Thank you, Alan. Thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure. Tell me, Robert, where are you originally from?
Right here in Fort Bragg.
Okay.
Born and raised here.
To
my parents.
Okay. Well, you told me an interesting story earlier that you were the milkman, or your parents were the milkman.
My father was the milkman, yes.
Okay.
I was raised on a dairy farm called Bolden Dairy. It's where the hospital is now in town. And
so still a lot of residents of the area might remember the dairy then.
A lot would, yes.
Okay. And then what happened to you? You were gone for a while, and then...
Well, I went to school here, all the way through high school, and then I moved to San Francisco for about 15 years, and then moved back here in 1994.
Okay, and what did you do then?
I catered and waited tables and performed and did lots of things.
Right.
Yeah, I loved it there.
Good. Now, one of the things that you're renowned for was having a very, very wonderful nursery.
Hortus Botanicus.
That's right.
I moved back here to start that. It's a nursery that I worked at as a kid. It was called Rain Man's Succulent Nursery at the time. And in San Francisco, a dear friend of mine passed away and left me money to start my own nursery. And I called my former employer, and she said, "Oh my goodness, my space is available." So I moved back home. So I took over the nursery that I worked at as a kid, and also happened to perform in the first show that I was ever in my life that same year.
Tell us a little bit about that.
The show?
The show.
The show.
Yes.
It was
your theatrical career.
Well, it was You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. In high school, I was in that as a junior, and I was Charlie Brown. And then when I moved back, it was the first show that Gloriana Theater Company was doing, and I auditioned, and then I was cast as Schroeder. So it was pretty interesting. It seemed like full circle.
Right. And you've appeared in Gloriana Productions.
Probably about 20.
About 20 of them?
Well, yeah, probably about that many.
Okay, so it's something you've obviously have a...
I love performing.
Yeah. Talking of which, tell us a little bit about a new venture that you're going to be embarking on.
Well, that's not really performing, but it is food.
It is food.
Back into food, yes.
Right, and there's two components.
After not doing it for about 20 years.
Right.
Yes, there are two components.
First one is Bollivars, right?
Bollivars.
Bollivars, I'm sorry.
An old family name. And that is cooking and baking for the farmers markets and also local delivery. It'll be frozen appetizers and entrees, all sorts of baked breads, pies, cakes, you name it. And those will be for sale year-round in Willits and Ukiah at the farmers markets, and then starting in May at the Fort Bragg Farmers Market. And then people will also be able to order items to be delivered once a week.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And there will also be artisan chocolates and other confections available as well.
Right, great. Now, I would love to now move on to a subject that I'm fascinated to hear a little bit more about, and those are the magical dinners.
Yes.
That you have conceived and have executed, I believe, at least one of them.
Well, there have been 4 of them.
4 of them already?
So far. They're very exciting.
Good.
Nothing like them in the food world or the magic world.
Good.
But those aren't with just me. Those are with a very dear friend, my lovely assistant or table sidekick, Sandy Glickfeld. Let me introduce you to her.
Please do. Well, that was a surprise. Welcome, Sandy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Alan.
So, please tell our audience a little bit about this incredible evening that you have put together called Magical Dinners.
Well, first of all, I would say people should come hungry to this event.
Most definitely.
It's been, the 4 that we've done have been approximately 3.5 hours in length, and you're eating throughout that time, not constantly, but over 3.5 hours. So it's something to be ready for that way.
Most definitely.
And people have just loved it. They've just raved about it. They continue to rave about it, we hear. And it's
There's really nothing like it.
there's nothing like it. No, it's beautiful. I would say I've been describing it to people as that it's 6 courses. It's a gourmet meal. Everything's hand and homemade.
But it's not just the food, it's music all the way through. We have a jazz pianist that plays non-stop, almost non-stop, all the way through. People sit down to basically a blank table. It's just barely set, no candles lit. And magic starts in with the lighting of the candles, and food starts magically appearing, and
Drinks
the whole thing
magically appear.
The wine magically appears. The whole thing is color coordinated, and the lights. And then we sprinkle some songs in between. We sing,
Yes.
and the words have been changed. The lyrics have been changed to suit the occasion.
And the
It's a
people.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
The people have been blown away so far.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
Well, yes, the adjectives that I've heard from people fortunate to have attended one of them is sublime and amazing, and the food and the ambience and the whole experience has just blown people away.
And in between courses, we perform magic tricks. Some of the magic is actually with a dinner. Some of them are with additional magic props. It's just a fun evening. And then we also serve Mendocino County wines.
Oh,
Every bit
excellent.
of food is handmade down to the butter. We even make the
Down
butter.
to the butter. So he has you churning the butter? Or is that something you can just, magically happens, right? Well, good. So could you share with our audience a little bit about some of the menu items that they may get to try?
Certainly. Would you like to hear just the entire last menu?
Why not?
Oh, good idea.
We
All
might
6
as well
courses?
start at the last one.
So the first item to appear magically is the handmade butter, and then it was yeast-raised cornbread, which appear out of silk handkerchiefs. And then the first course was a roasted butternut squash and pear soup with creme fraiche and gorgonzola croutons.
Whoa.
And then we had fresh Dungeness crab cakes with sherry, lime, and cayenne aioli, or garlic mayonnaise.
Okay.
And then the next course was champagne sorbet with lavender glazed kumquats
My favorite.
and glowing, color-changing glasses. And then the entree was roasted pork tenderloin that was stuffed with dried Bing cherries and herbs, served with a calvados and apple demi-glaze, and wild rice and mushroom timbales and braised vegetables. Finishing up with a mixed green salad with a reduction of balsamic pear vinegar and blood orange olive oil.
Oh my.
Roasted pecans and Asiago cheese. And then we call the dessert course an extravaganza because some of it magically appears, some of it's brought out by the kitchen help. And it was a raspberry chocolate truffle torte.
You see why you need to
handmade
come hungry?
chocolates.
I was just going to
Sorry to
say,
interrupt you.
a taste sensation, and definitely something that you would want to come hungry and enjoy. And throughout the evening then, there are displays of ingenuity and magic and singing
Yes.
and entertainment. So a thorough, for 3.5 hours, then people are completely, have their socks blown off, as they say.
In the privacy of their own home.
Ah, so you can actually do it in people's homes.
Yes, that's the
the whole
idea.
point. Yes.
And what size
It's
groups?
dinner theater.
Dinner theater. So what size groups or number of people
we
is
prefer
optimal?
6 to 8.
Okay.
But the first few that we did were 12. And the smaller parties of 6 or 8 are really nice. The social, it just seems...
It's intimate.
It is more
And
intimate.
It makes it more special for the people who are having the event because it's their event. It's like bringing a restaurant and a dinner show and live music, into your house. It's like it's all being brought in.
It's pretty amazing.
So it's a very personal experience
It
then,
is.
and intimate.
Yes.
That's great. And how would people find out more about possibly
By giving me a call.
Okay. And what would they call you on?
707-964-4786. They can also check out the Magical Dinners website, which is magicaldinners.com. And I can be emailed at info@magicaldinners.com.
Great. And I think in the current edition of the Mendocino Traveler's Guide, there's actually a feature article.
Full-page feature article, yes.
On this incredible
Page
event. Page 8.
Right
There
next
you
to the
go.
music festival.
All right. 2 wonderful events happening here on the coast.
Yes.
So I thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today and for sharing a little bit about your new endeavors. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank
I
you.
hope at some point I will be able to enjoy one of these dinners myself. So audience, there you have it. A wonderful evening of magic and wonderful food can be yours to enjoy in the privacy of your own home with Robert's Magical Dinners. Thank you for joining us on Coast Currents. We'll look forward to seeing you next time.